In today's video, I want to talk about one of the most terrifying sentences a man can hear in a marriage or relationship. I need space. And what's wild is on paper, those words look harmless. They almost look reasonable. When she delivers that line, your heart does not process a request though. It instantly processes a countdown timer to divorce, like you are hearing a door starting to close very quickly. You feel an immediate primal fear followed by a torrent of panic. And that panic is not irrational. It is a very real fear that if you stop acting, if you stop chasing, if you stop doing something, she will simply disappear from your life forever. I'm here to tell you that the single most destructive thing you can do right now is to try and control or fix her space. The common, outdated advice is to just give her space and be supportive. That advice inevitably fails because it doesn't address the panic that is raging inside you. It only addresses the symptom that she's presented. You have to address the root cause, and the root cause of that panic is your fear of the emotional void. Before we dive deeper on the topic, please hit the like button so you too can find other men in this situation who need the help as well, and I would love if you throw a comment below on your experience with your partner needing space. So I know your first instinct hearing that she needs space is to try and minimize the damage. This is where men unintentionally pour gasoline on the fire. Your mind convinces you, if I don't act, I'm going to lose her. You feel like you must regain control of the narrative, so you immediately fall into the disastrous trap of chasing her. You try to fix the relationship by writing that thoughtful, long email listing every single change you've made in the last 3 weeks. You check in every day with non-committal texts, subtly begging for her feedback, and you pressure her for an end date. You ask her, how long do you need? Can we set a time limit on this space? You turn into a detective, constantly seeking evidence of her mood or presence to see if the crisis is officially over, and you essentially try to negotiate the relationship back into existence. But when you do this very act of chasing confirms her exact underlying reason for pulling away and just makes her want more and more distance. Most men react to her space request the same way they react to warning lights coming on their car dashboard. They just panic and start hitting a bunch of buttons hoping that the lights turn off, or they just ignore hoping that the lights are going to go away. But the dashboard is not the problem. It is the engine underneath. Chasing her is like trying to fix the dashboard lights while completely ignoring the engine that's misfiring inside of you. Until you fix the engine, which is your identity and nervous system, the same warning signals will keep coming back. Because if you don't fix it, it screams to her subconscious mind that you need her to manage your feelings and validate your own self-worth. That continuous level of emotional burden and dependency that you put on her is the single greatest killer of sexual attraction and respect in a relationship. The only way to truly stop chasing and to become an attractive, grounded man again is not by trying to control her space, but by committing to control your own identity and mission. And there are a few things I want to touch on that will help you along this journey to reconnect with your wife and really strengthen your relationship and solidify her respect for you. Number one is that you have to be unsinkable. This is a huge signal for self-respect. When she sees you acting calmly, grounded, and not driven by panic, you are demonstrating that your core emotional state is unshakable and entirely independent of her mood and her decision to be physically present. This communicates to her that you are validating your own worth. You are proving that her decision to leave or stay is painful, but it does not and will not destroy the man that you are. That is the first time in a long time she will experience you as safe. Not safe because you're soft, but safe because you are stable. This builds massive respect because she realizes you're not a man she can casually manage or control or just walk all over. This commitment to yourself is the essence of true self-respect. The second thing is that your world has to be compelling. This is the mission signal. Now, I'm not saying you have to be the most interesting man in the world like the Dos Equis guy, but you have to demonstrate in some form or fashion that your life has a compelling purpose. A mission that is something outside the relationship itself. A man without a mission clings to the relationship, and this becomes detrimental over time. This is the exact key that unlocks her desire. Women do not want to be the entire world of the man they're with. They want to be a very cherished part of it. When you genuinely pivot to pursuing your purpose, and that can be anything that's important to you, whether it's your fitness, your career, your inner growth, you start to prove that you are the leader you either once were or can grow into. When you start to apply these concepts, this starts to reverse that chase. You stop the outward, desperate energy of chasing and you pivot all of that energy back to yourself. And suddenly, the entire dynamic of the relationship shifts with it. Instead of her pulling away from your exhausting neediness, she now has to reorient herself to your stable, purposeful direction. You become that gravitational center again, and she has to start paying attention to you because you're no longer paying attention desperately to her. This is not a game or trying to manipulate your partner with any quick fix tactics. This is reestablishing a strong masculine identity that is inherently guided by a genuine purpose-driven mission. Being able to do this and create emotional safety are the only things that are going to reignite desire and respect. At some point, you've got to ask yourself the real question. Are you trying to get her back, or are you trying to avoid being alone with yourself? Because one of those paths makes you a stronger man and the other keeps you trapped in the same panic you're in right now. I know what the voice of doubt in your head is saying, and it says, I get it. Just focus on my mission. I'll sign up for a gym membership and I'll call it a day. But you can't fake this level of internal transformation, and here is why. If you haven't mastered your ability to be a calm, masculine leader through presence, she will smell the performance underneath it all. When you are genuinely panicking inside, trying to force yourself to focus on a new hobby, your nervous system is too reactive, and she's going to test your new boundaries until they inevitably collapse. And when you collapse, you confirm every fear she had about you, which is you just won't change. The systematic change required to stop chasing is deep, detailed, and essentially non-negotiable. You need to be able to ask yourself, how do you reprogram your nervous system so that when she walks in and looks distant, your emotional frame doesn't instantly collapse into neediness and anxiety? How do you get clarity and structure to define a purpose-driven mission that lasts longer than a week and actually defines you as a man? And how do you maintain emotional containment and calm strength when she starts testing your new boundaries by being critical or even pulling a little bit further away? You need a systematic way to rebuild the man she can be safely attracted to. This is the gap men never close alone, and it's where most men lose their marriages, even though they try a bunch of different things and work incredibly hard to fix it. You don't need more effort. You need the right effort directed at the right things. The problem isn't just your behavior. The problem is the identity that created that behavior. You cannot just decide to be a different man. You need an actual blueprint that systematically rebuilds your inner world, your core identity, and all of your habits. That blueprint is what makes the permanent change and makes it sustainable. And it's the only way to genuinely become the man who leads. If you're serious about finally addressing the core problem and you want that clear, step-by-step blueprint for rebuilding a man that she can safely be powerfully attracted to, you need to check out my free Relationship Rebuild Masterclass. This masterclass is the first step to taking that control back. It's going to teach you the framework to shift from external dependency to your internal power. This is leadership training for your marriage, and it has been specifically designed for the man who's trying to lead his relationship back to a thriving state, or even better than it has ever been before. The link for that free masterclass is in the description below. Watch it now and start that process of becoming the man who is pursued and not the one who chases. If this video helped you see your situation in a much clearer way, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next episode.